The world is holding its breath tonight. 2 American fighter jets are down in the South China Sea. The facts are chilling. 2 U.S. Navy F-A-18 Super Hornets operating from the USS Ronald Reagan have crashed just 30 minutes apart. This is not a drill. It's a crisis in one of the world's most contested waters. Was it a catastrophic accident, mechanical failure, or something more sinister? Official silence only fuels speculation. The Pentagon confirms only the loss and ongoing search and rescue. Social media erupts with theories, while experts highlight the proximity to Chinese-claimed islands. The incident instantly becomes an international flashpoint. The fate of the pilots is unknown. The cause, a mystery. In Washington, President Thompson is briefed and a crisis meeting is called. The top priority: find the pilots. The second: control the narrative. In this geopolitical tinderbox, a single misstep could have devastating consequences. The world is watching not just the rescue, but how the U.S. projects strength in a moment of vulnerability. The stakes are high, not just for the aircrew, but for the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. The USS Ronald Reagan, a symbol of American power, is now at the center of a major international incident. Military planners and diplomats scramble through scenarios. What if the pilots are recovered by Chinese forces? What if the wreckage falls into the wrong hands? No one in power is sleeping tonight. The world waits for the next development from the troubled waters of the South China Sea. The sequence of events is as stunning as it is alarming. It began as a routine day for Carrier Air Wing 5 aboard the USS Ronald Reagan. The first FA-18, call sign Viper 1, vanished from radar. No warning, no distress call. Emergency protocols kicked in instantly. Before the crew could process the first loss, a second jet, Lancer 2, also disappeared. 30 minutes later, in a different pattern, on a separate mission. 2 crashes in such a short window. This was no ordinary accident. The possibility of a mid-air collision was ruled out. The jets weren't flying together. Could both have suffered the same catastrophic failure? Unlikely. Theories of electronic interference or hostile engagement began to circulate. For the crew, it felt like a coordinated attack, even without evidence. The carrier strike group, usually a symbol of power, suddenly felt exposed. The vast ocean, once an advantage, now seemed to hide both their comrades and the truth. The mission shifted from power projection to a desperate search for survivors. Every second counted. The mystery deepened, and the sense of vulnerability grew. The South China Sea had never felt so dangerous. News of the twin crashes raced around the globe. In Washington, the Pentagon confirmed the losses but refused to speculate. Behind the scenes, the national security apparatus was in overdrive. The fleet was ordered to heightened alert. China's response was swift, urging the U.S. to cease destabilizing military activities, while state media framed the incident as American recklessness. No sympathy, just political messaging. U.S. allies responded with concern and offers of support. Japan, Australia, and the Philippines all called for calm. These nations walk a diplomatic tightrope, balancing security ties with the U.S. and economic links to China. The military implications are profound. The carrier strike group is on high alert, and Chinese naval forces are likely doing the same. The South China Sea is now a crowded theater of warships and suspicion. The risk of miscalculation between 2 powerful navies has never been higher. The world is watching 2 superpowers stare each other down. Every move is scrutinized. The stakes are global. Tension is the new normal. The South China Sea is more than just water. It's a global crossroads. 1/3 of all shipping passes through here, over $3 trillion in trade. Any disruption would send shockwaves through the world economy. Beyond commerce, it's a hotbed of territorial disputes. China claims almost the entire sea, overlapping with the zones of Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei. Beijing has built and militarized artificial islands, projecting power far from its shores. The U.S. doesn't take sides on the claims, but insists on freedom of navigation. That's why the Navy conducts regular patrols, directly challenging China's assertions. The USS Ronald Reagan was doing just that. These missions are a statement. The U.S. won't let China control this vital waterway. The crashes didn't happen in a vacuum. They happened in a contested high-stakes arena. For China, a U.S. carrier is a provocation. For the U.S., China's island building is a threat. Each side sees the other as the aggressor. This incident pours fuel on an already smoldering fire. The South China Sea is a fault line between 2 world powers, and it just shook. Life on an aircraft carrier is routine, until it isn't. When Viper 1 vanished, the calm of the USS Ronald Reagan shattered. Urgent calls filled the air. Viper 1, do you copy? The silence was deafening. On deck, crews froze, eyes searching the horizon. The search and rescue alarm blared. Then, the second blow. Lancer 2 was gone. Shock turned to disbelief, then fear. The captain ordered general quarters, battle stations. The ship sealed itself, preparing for the worst. Down below, maintenance crews scoured records, desperate for answers. Did they miss something? Was there a hidden flaw? The sense of responsibility was crushing. The entire ship felt the loss. 5,000 sailors, suddenly united in grief and uncertainty. The roar of jets was replaced by an eerie silence. On a city at sea, everyone felt alone. The tragedy was personal, and the threat felt closer than ever. The rescue mission began the moment the alarm sounded. 2 MH-60R Sea Hawk helicopters launched, racing to the last known coordinates. On board, elite rescue swimmers, ready to leap into the churning sea. Time was critical. Survival in open water is measured in minutes. The first breakthrough. A debris field, then a life raft. We have a survivor, the pilot from Viper 1, injured but alive. The rescue swimmer plunged in, fighting waves to reach him. The pilot was hoisted aboard, relief flooding the crew. But the search wasn't over. The second pilot was still missing. The sun set as helicopters and ships scoured the waves. The destroyer USS Higgins joined the search, sailors scanning the darkening sea. Hope faded as hours passed. The debris from Lancer 2 was extensive, suggesting a catastrophic crash. By nightfall, there was still no sign of the second pilot. The crew clung to hope, but prepared for the worst. The heroism of the rescuers was clear, but sometimes, even heroes can't beat the sea. For veterans, this crisis echoes the Hainan Island incident of 2001. Then, a U.S. surveillance plane collided with a Chinese jet, forcing an emergency landing in China. The American crew was detained for 11 tense days. China demanded an apology. The U.S. demanded their release. The world watched a diplomatic standoff unfold. Meanwhile, China gained access to sensitive U.S. technology. The lesson: even a single incident can reshape relations and compromise secrets. Today, the stakes are different but just as high. The Super Hornet's wreckage lies deep in the South China Sea, not on Chinese soil, but close to Chinese-controlled waters. It's not a hostage crisis, but a race to recover the jets and their secrets. The Pentagon remembers Hainan and is determined not to repeat it. The jets are packed with classified tech radar, sensors, electronic warfare systems. If China recovers them, it's a major intelligence coup. The US Navy is moving fast to prevent that. The memory of the EP-3 being dismantled by Chinese engineers haunts every decision. The priority is the aircrew, but the technology is a close second. The race is on, and the stakes are higher than ever. The ghost of Hainan looms over the South China Sea. With one pilot rescued and the search ongoing, a new mission begins: recover the wreckage. The 2 Super Hornets are more than twisted metal. They're vaults of military secrets. The US Navy deploys specialized salvage teams using remotely operated vehicles to scour the ocean floor. The search is painstaking. The sea is deep and the wreckage could be scattered. But the clock is ticking. China's Navy is close and they have their own salvage capabilities. The crash sites are nearer to Chinese-controlled islands than any US base. Both navies are converging, each determined to claim the prize. The US will declare an exclusion zone, but China may challenge it. The potential for confrontation is real. Ships and subs shadowing each other. ROVs racing below. This is the gray zone of modern conflict. Deniable, ambiguous, tense. Billions in technology and the strategic edge it brings are at stake. The world's most advanced hardware is now a prize on the ocean floor. The outcome could shift the balance of power. Every move is watched, every action calculated. The silent race beneath the waves is as dangerous as any battle above. The fate of the jets and the secrets they hold hangs in the balance. This incident is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace in the Indo-Pacific. It exposes the fault lines beneath global politics. For the US, it's a test of military readiness and resolve. 2 advanced jets lost, a blow to both capability and perception. The information war is already raging. The US will highlight heroism and professionalism. China will call it recklessness and decline. Allies are caught in the middle, watching closely. The investigation's outcome will shape the fallout for years. The salvage race could end quietly or spark a new crisis. The fate of the missing pilot weighs heavily on the Navy. The story of the South China Sea is still being written. Will this be a managed tragedy, or the spark of something bigger? The path forward demands careful navigation of ships, strategy, and diplomacy. The world waits, hoping for the best, preparing for the worst.